kind of tell you how I got into the trucking industry. The way I got started is I called a bunch of starter companies. One of them was CRST, Swift, Stevens Transport, and I talked to a bunch of them, and at the time I had just got back from California. So kind of the first question to ask was, do you do a hair follicle test? And all of them did it. All of them did it except for CRST at the time. I'm pretty sure they all do it now, so if I was going into it now today after leaving California, I'd probably have to take 3 months off, and then I'd probably even pay for my own hair test because you don't want to flop when you first get started. Anyways, that's another note. Tell you more about hair. Well, actually, this would be something good to know. So one of the girls in the she went to another school, and she failed the hair follicle test getting into the trucking industry, because they're going to do a hair test or a pee test, sometimes both, most of the time both. So she failed the hair test because her weave showed up, it popped hot, and she tried to explain it's not her real hair, and yeah, you can't really go far with the government regulations. So first thing you do, you want to make sure you got a clean MVR, motor vehicle record. You want to have a clean driver's license. You want to have, most of them, they want you to have your birth certificate to go into the school. And you want to have a little bit of money set aside if you can. I didn't have much. I had a family member send me money to get me through. And then there's a couple times where that wasn't quite enough, so I actually walked from the training center I was at. I took a bus to a food bank and then got free food from the food bank. That's how I got food. That's how I went through. So when you go into, when you finally lock in the companies, say, one of the things you want to do, you might have to make notes, because I'll be all over the place. I'm going to touch on everything I know as it comes to me. So one thing you want to do, you want to find the company with the shortest contract. So two major things. If hair isn't a problem with you, you never smoked or did anything or anything like that, then the next thing you want to have is the shortest contract. Shortest contract is really important because you're not going to make a lot while you're in contract, and you want to be out of it as soon as possible. The second thing is you want to find out how much they pay per mile, and you want to ask them, like, hey, am I required to team drive? Because a lot of them, they require you to team drive when you get started, because you're a rookie, they don't trust you in their truck yet, and they want a second set of eyes. Or if you get in a sticky situation, you can wake up your co-driver and they can help guide you out. Now, two rookies working together is like two blind men trying to pan for gold. I mean, you know, maybe you luck out and get some here and there, but still risky, right? So the way I started, I went through the program. So the CDL is really good. If you're losing your butt in every other area of life, you can go get, if you're in good physical health and you've got a decent motor vehicle record, you can go get your CDL and live in a truck and make decent money at first year, but make great money later on. A lot of people, they quit, or they do like I did and mess up their record when they first get started because they don't have faith that they'll make more money down the road. They don't believe in themselves. That was definitely me. So don't do that. But to get your CDL, you're going to want to memorize your air brakes, general knowledge, and there's another one. It ain't quite coming to me right now. Might come to me later. But there's 3 tests that you need to get your CDL permit to drive. You can get those. You can download an app on your phone, take the test for free. Maybe I should put a link to the app in the description. If I remember, I will. So you want to go ahead and get your permit, and then you want to get your pre-trip inspection list together. So your pre-trip inspection list, you got your A, B, and C list, and you want to just go through that and just try to memorize it. To get your CDL, you're going to memorize a lot of information, a lot of rules and regulations. And then once you have all those rules and regulations memorized, you need to be able to back up the truck and drive it down the road. This says pocketbook on it. It's not a pocketbook. Okay, so real quick, they're gonna tell you some of them. They're gonna tell you that you got to become familiar with this. You're not going to become familiar with all of this. This is really something to keep in your truck. If someone ever tries to give you a ticket for something, you can cover your butt. You can say, where is that? What section is that? That's what this is for. This is insurance. So let's say you do all that, you do your homework. I can probably go more in depth with this if I need to. But once you get all that done, I would probably be really looking to get my hazmat and tanker if it's something you're interested in, and your doubles and triples, and your TWIC card. Those things will provide you potential to make a lot of money when you got the experience, once you have the experience. It's hard to get your experience in certain things, like when it comes to tanker, you really have to look around to find somebody that'll get you your first year or two in tanker. But once you've got a year or two in tanker, you can go somewhere like Pilot or Loves and make 6 figures a year, easily. I talked to a guy the other day and he said he was putting two of his daughters through college, driving a truck, and paying his mortgage and everything, not carrying any debt. So the money's out there. You can definitely make the money. And, I mean, the major things to think about is the pros and cons. The pros are you can make great money. If your home life is great, I don't know if I'd do it. For me, I didn't really have much of a home life, so the upside was limitless, right? If you have other options, you got plenty of options at home, I might would stay at home, because driving a truck is a very, very lonely life. Right out here, I'm in a yard where I'm getting a load tomorrow out of here, and there's nobody around. There's nobody. It's just me. And when you interact with people, you interact with like 2 people a day. You're going to interact with somebody when you deliver a load, and interact with somebody when you pick up a load. Other than that, it's interaction at a truck stop here and there, and it can get lonely and desolate. I don't know how guys did it before cell phones. I guess they all had a CB, you know. There's rules to the road that you will learn once you get out here, and you'll learn, you'll adapt pretty quick. One of the rules is we all treat each other good. We know how hard it is out here. We treat each other good. So I guess the things I would think about is trucking right for me or not. The things I would think about is, are you okay with being alone all the time? Are you okay with going down the road and, you know, there's not much for music unless you got like a podcast or something like that. Can you go down the road in silence for long periods of time? If you're that type of person, I think you're good for it. I think you might be made for it. But for me, the biggest thing that frustrates me out here is the food. The food out here sucks. You have to cook in your truck, which is challenging. Cleaning out pot and pan or whatever in your truck. You know, you got limited water and everything. It can be kind of tough, especially when you're running tight deadlines. One of my friends put it really, really well. He said, you know, out on the road, you're just a professional nomad. That's just what it is. I guess I would ask myself, if I was looking at it today, am I willing to do it for 5 or 10 years? And if I'm not willing to do it for 5 or 10 years, if you're just trying to do it for 2 years and get your wings under you and dip out, you can do that with trucking. If I was doing it over again, I wouldn't acquire any debt. I would put more money and energy into starting a side business sooner. I would have started investing sooner. I would have got schooled up on investing and 401ks, IRAs, all of that. I probably would have started an online business sooner. I would have been a lot more aggressive with putting my money in places to leave myself an out. Just in case. Just in case I want to take a year off. So I hope that helps if you're thinking about going into trucking. That's my best effort. And if I have to go into detail on certain different things later, I can. I probably will be truck driving for another year at least. I don't know yet. Kind of depends on if something takes off for me or not. So I'll try to kind of like teach what to do at least while I can. I've been doing it for almost 7 years, or 6 or 7 years. So I've been doing it a while. I'm closing in on 1 million miles under my belt. So I'd like to maybe teach people what to do if they're going into this before I leave. If I leave, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what's happening next year or two. But yeah, like I said, my name's Avery. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you later.